They say a golden ring on a dirty finger does not change the dirt, and a wealthy name cannot hide a rotten heart. Indeed, Obinna learned this lesson in the most agonizing way possible, on the cold concrete streets of Lagos under the burning sun of Marina. He was a man who owned the very glass skyscraper that pierced the clouds, yet he chose to wear the tattered rags of a mute street sweeper just to test the soul of the woman he wanted to marry. And so the trap was set. But he did not know, not even in his wildest dreams, that the woman who swore to love him forever would be the first to trample his face into the mud, while a poor Jollof rice seller named Adana, with nothing but crumpled naira notes inside her late mother's Bible, would become his ultimate shield. Long before the dusty streets of Marina tested his soul, Obinna was a man of humble beginnings who labored night and day to build the largest banking conglomerate in Lagos. His brilliant mind turned stone into gold, and soon he was surrounded by the finest things of life. But his heart remained simple, until he met Tiwa, a wealthy cosmetic heiress with eyes like diamonds and a heart as cold as ice. She saw his massive wealth and immediately claimed his heart, demanding a lavish 100 million naira wedding to show off to her elite friends. When Obinna suggested they use part of that money to feed the starving street children, Tiwa scoffed in disgust, calling the poor useless trash who deserved to suffer. And so, the seed of deep doubt was planted, forcing him to devise a secret test that would expose her true soul. On the other side of the busy Marina Bridge, far from the cold glass towers of wealth, a young woman named Adana labored in the heavy smoke. Every single morning before sunrise, she carried heavy logs of firewood to her small roadside food stall, cooking sweet-smelling jollof rice over glowing charcoal to feed the hungry laborers. Her soft hands were blistered and her back was aching, yet she smiled through the hot steam, counting every single crumpled naira note before tucking them gently inside her late mother's cherished old leather Bible, hoping to save enough to pay her younger brother's school fees. Indeed, she had no gold or shimmering silk to show off to the world, but her pure heart was a glowing sanctuary of kindness, waiting patiently to be discovered in the dust of the busy city, completely unaware that a great king was already walking towards her path. And so the fateful hour arrived. Obinna locked his luxury golden watches and designer cashmere suits deep inside a dark steel safe, stripping himself of every single symbol of his vast banking empire, until he was nothing but a silent shadow. He dressed in a dirty, frayed t-shirt and a tattered municipal safety vest, carrying a small, cheap wooden table and a single dusty POS payment machine to the chaotic concrete sidewalk right in front of the towering glass gates of his own multi-billion naira bank headquarters. Under the blistering, unforgiving sun of Marina, he sat quietly as a mute, ragged street attendant, watching the proud, wealthy elite sweep past him with noses turned upward. He waited with a heavy heart to see if anyone would look past his tattered clothes, or if his beloved Tiwa would finally show her true, dark colors. And out stepped Tiwa, laughing loudly and arrogantly with her snobbish friends, while swinging her expensive designer purse. Needing quick cash to pay her fabric vendors, she refused to stand in the bank queue and marched directly to the tattered POS table, completely blind to the fact that the dirty, slouched sweeper was her own billionaire fiancé. When the connection delayed and the machine failed to load, Tiwa exploded in absolute rage, screaming that he was a lazy, worthless animal, before swinging her hand to deliver a brutal, stinging slap across his face, sending Obinna crashing heavily onto the wet, muddy concrete sidewalk, while her friends laughed at his splintered wooden table in absolute mockery, leaving him bruised and bleeding in the dirty street. But before Tiwa could raise her leather boot to strike him again, Adana rushed out from her smoky food stall, throwing her own body over Obinna to shield him. Adana screamed, "Stop! What is wrong with you? Why must you treat a human being like an animal?" Tiwa sneered in deep disgust, pointing her long golden fingernails and shouting back, "Look at this tattered, wretched food seller, smelling of charcoal dust. Get out of my way before my security guards sweep you away with the trash. This filthy, mute POS rat delayed my business. He is a useless, lazy insect who does not deserve to breathe." Obinna lay in the sharp gravel, his jaw throbbing with a burning, blinding, white-hot pain as the metallic taste of blood filled his mouth. His left hand trembled violently against the jagged concrete, dirt cutting deep into his palms as he forced his fingers to curl, holding himself down from rising to his full height. Every muscle in his back screamed in agony, urging him to stand up, to reveal his true identity, to scream that he owned the very ground they walked upon. But he remained still, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird, his breathing ragged, shallow, and heavy under the heavy weight of the burning municipal vest. Sweat mixed with thick black dust dripped down his nose into his eyes, blinding him with his searing sting. Yet his mind fought an even greater battle, a civil war of pride against patience, as he forced his breaking body to endure the heavy kicks and the mocking laughter, telling himself that the pain in his bones was nothing compared to her dark, rotting soul. By the very next morning, the grand mahogany doors of the bank's executive boardroom swung open, and Tiwa walked in with her wealthy father, smiling proudly as they prepared to sign a multi-million naira expansion loan for their business. She boasted to the board members, completely unaware that her entire destiny was about to hang by a single thread. Suddenly, the room fell dead silent as the double doors opened once more, and Obinna walked in, looking absolutely majestic in his midnight blue cashmere suit, holding a silver-trimmed leather binder. And walking right beside him was Adana, looking beautiful in a rich green silk gown, with her twist braids glowing with wooden beads. Tiwa gasped, her face turning pale, as she pointed a shaking finger, screaming, "No, it cannot be! You are that filthy, smute street sweeper!" Obinna looked at her with perfect cold calm and whispered, "You slapped a man in the dirt because a machine delayed, Tiwa. You forgot that the gold you worship belongs to the very hands you stepped on. Your loan is denied and your name is ruined." And with a single press of a button, the screen flashed with footage of her slapping him, leaving her father in complete shock as Tiwa fell to her knees, weeping. And so the heavy wheel of silent karma turned with a swift and devastating force. Within just a few weeks, Tiwa's luxury cosmetic stores were completely blacklisted by every major bank in Lagos. Her fair-weather wealthy friends deserted her, and her proud, glittering lifestyle crumbled into dark, empty shadows of debt. But for the humble Adana, the morning brought a beautiful and radiant new dawn, as Obinna used his immense resources to build a state-of-the-art culinary academy right in the heart of the city. She no longer labored in the choking smoke of the open streets, but stood proudly as a master chef, teaching and inspiring hundreds of girls from similar poor homes. And on one quiet, golden evening, Obinna walked into her pristine kitchen, holding the same tattered old leather Bible she had once used to protect her small savings. As Adana turned around and saw him, tears of disbelief and soft joy welled up in her warm eyes. Obinna stepped closer, placing the Bible on the clean counter and opening it to show that every single crumpled note was now replaced with golden certificates. Indeed, he did not offer her gold from a place of pride, but gave her his entire heart, choosing her to walk beside him as his true queen. My beautiful family, never look down on the person sweeping the floor today, for they may very well be the one who owns the entire building tomorrow. Tell me, what are your honest thoughts on how Tiwa treated Obinna? Do you think she deserved her heavy punishment, or would you have forgiven her? Let me know in the comments below. I would really love to read from you today. A deeply emotional story of a jealous sister who steals her twin's identity and passport at the airport is dropping in a few days. Subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss it. Please like and share this video and remain blessed.